We're going to be looking at multiple different ways to sell the 101 pick in your Dynasty rookie draft, super flex, and in 1QB, looking at the values, looking at trades that have happened for different people to get a good understanding of that what could potentially happen for you. If you traded a 101, let us know in the comments below what you traded it for or what you paid to get it. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're talking about dynasty trades. We're looking at these players. We're looking at rookie drafts. We're looking at the player values. Hit that button. Stop missing out. But we're going to dig in. And we can all agree, most leagues, the 101 is going to be Ashton Jeanty. In some Superflex leagues, there are some people arguing for Cam Ward as he's going to be the 101 pick in the NFL draft, the first quarterback off the board. But Ashton Jeanty's pretty much in lockstep as the top player in this year's draft per rookie draft stakes, and that's very understandable. And when you look at where he's valued in ADP right now, he's around Nico Collins, Brock Bowers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake London territory, and then you're going to have to use him and a few chips to get up to like CeeDee Lamb, Bijan Robinson, Justin Jefferson. That's what the ADP is saying in drafts. They're taking those players ahead of Ashton Jeanty, but Ashton Jeanty is locked in as the RB3 in value and a top 12 player, so he's already a first-round prospect. That could increase over time over the summer. Looking at trades for 2QB, Caleb Williams seems like the value-esque range from last year's draft to look at for Ashton Jeanty, and I don't think that's going to be getting done with Cam Ward because Cam Ward's not going to be in the situation Caleb Williams is in, and the Titans versus Bears, I think I would rather have the Bears situation. Suggested players from the DLF calculator: Bo Nix, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Nico Collins, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Brock Bowers, Jahmyr Gibbs. So one thing you can say, if you're in need of a quarterback, you got the 101, you don't like Cam Ward, you can funnel it for another quarterback that you like that's not a top tier quarterback, but kind of like in that next tier or so down the road. That's one thing you can say from a macro level. You can also look at the players in that positional range of ADP as well to look at. But in 1QB, him versus Marvin Harrison Jr. from last year's class is probably what you're looking at when it comes to value. Ashton Jeanty's a running back. Ashton Jeanty's going to get top-tier draft capital, and he's going to be productive, at least from a volume sense early in his career, as long as he doesn't get injured. Marvin Harrison Jr. coming out of Ohio State, regarded as a generational talent. Not a horrible rookie season, just did not really live up to the hype that first year. Now you're catching him at a weensy discount. ADP 14.67, which is starting to trend up right now. That's about the 101 fade when it comes to the calculator. And then also other players in that adjacent area. Brock Bowers is there. I just don't see that likely. I think that might be the sticking point. I think that might be the point where that will make people happy. Bijan Robinson, Nico Collins, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Devin H.N. So when you're looking at some of these running backs, they're older, they've been in the league longer, Ashton Jeanty's more talented, and then you're looking at guys like Bijan, they're already up there, they're already getting the good situation, they're already productive, they're already in the prime, they already got the value. So you're going to have to be creative here when you're dealing with the top end of players, as we all know. Brock Bowers valued a little bit more on the calculator. That might be the sticky point where people feel good about releasing the 101 and not going Jeanty, or staying put when you're starting to look at some of the players here down the line. But that's what you want to do. That's what the calculator is saying. We go over here to playerprofiler.com. If you want to discount the all-in package, just use code Bruce. Don't remember how much it is, but the 8th player in the rankings behind Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. Different set of players here compared to ADP, but still top end players. Another one for one you could do is Brian Thomas Jr. That might be hard to do. But considering Ashton Jeanty's a running back, there might be some cases where you can get it done. Nico Collins is always in the fold there, but there's more players and avenues when you look at another set of rankings. Going back to ADP, Ashton Jeanty, around Nico Collins, Brock Bowers, Brian Thomas Jr., Puka Nacua below him, Drake London, Marvin Harrison Jr. Those are about the one-for-one gets. When you're looking at packaging players, that's when things are going to get interesting, because now you can do 2-for-1s. You can look at multiple different players. You can see how things can change up. But coming back here, looking at what Keep Trade Cut is doing, around the same area. CJ Stroud, Drake May, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. He's really in that quarterback territory. So if you're in Superflex, you're hurting at quarterback, you don't like Cam Ward, this might be the chip that gets you to your quarterback if you want to do so. That is the alternative, especially the running back position is usually not too long. I say usually because he might get you 6 to 8 years, maybe even longer. Or it gets you a good 5, but a high-end 5 spot. But still, top 10 running back, you can't predict that. You can't predict the future. You can't even predict your league's going to last that long. But going down here, looking at the trades. This is one of the big ones on social media. Travis Etienne, Garrett Wilson, 101. So when we're looking at 2-for-1s, when you get those 2 pieces, I'd want 2 good pieces. I don't want jabronis. If I get jabronis, they're just to go along with those 2 good pieces. If I can get 3 good pieces, good. What I like about this trade is that you're getting Garrett Wilson, who has potential to be a good wide receiver every single year of his career. Travis Etienne could turn it around. He's been a staple for the Jaguars. What could land blowing up in your face? What if the Jaguars draft Genty? That is not a prediction, but that's a what if. What if they select the running back? It's not like they weren't dealing with injuries last year. That could potentially happen, but all in all, macro standpoint, 2 good players, 2 good valued players going for the 101. I think I might rather have the 101 in this case because I don't view Travis Etienne as a not so long asset. Garrett Wilson's a good asset, but it's hard for him hitting his top tier ceiling for a long time considering the quarterback issues they got there with the Jets. Going over here, and this one's a pull. 101 versus 105, 112, 2 firsts and a late second. So everyone's taking the 101 over that. So 2 firsts to move up 4 spots and a second thrown in. So early third, you can say that, and it's a 2026. People are still taking the 101. It's highly coveted. That's what people want to do. Now we're looking here at this trade. There's a lot going on with it. You got Malik Neighbors, 105, 110. 101, Drake London, 201. There's a lot there. A lot to digest. Those trades, when there's a lot going on, is where you can probably make the big deals happen. But you got to have assets coming and going. That's one thing to say. Malik Neighbors versus Drake London. Malik Neighbors, one of the top assets in Dynasty. Drake London, not too far off. And then you got the 101 there. And then you got the 105 and 110. You got like 4 or 5 firsts going for 101 and Drake London. You got a lot going on. You have to be creative. Another trade we're looking at is the 101 2025 for Deonta Smith, Pacheco, and 205. I think this is a steal. I think they stole him right out from under their face. So I like Smith, but Pacheco, running back, not for long, value-wise, a little bit down there in Dynasty. I think that's a huge steal for the 101. And then we're looking at Malik Neighbors for 2 firsts. One of them being the 101, the other one 106. So maybe you can use your 101, and maybe if you got another pick and you got a good asset like an Xavier Worthy, maybe you can go shopping. Maybe you can use that 101 to go shopping in your draft. Maybe that could happen. Another thing, you use your 101, get you another good receiver, maybe a little bit lesser down the totem pole of Dynasty value, get you an A.J. Brown, another player in that area. You get a second, third throw in. You know, you go shopping, you get the player you want, and maybe you do that. Another thing, too, you can make some swaps here. 101 Herbert, Josh Allen, swapping quarterbacks, Christian McCaffrey in there. You got the 110. You're only going down 2 spots. Maybe you do something like that, move some players around, but you're going to have to be creative with the 101. Going 1 for 1 for the 101 is going to be hard to do when we're looking at these trades. Another thing, you got the 101 moving down to the 102, getting Rashee Rice, moving your 201 to 207, also throwing in another second. So you're using that to move down a little bit and then getting another player. So you're getting production, and you know you're going to get more production on the top half of the first round. So you're still getting good assets in the draft and then getting another good player that can help your team. That's another way you can look at dealing away your 101 or selling and getting up to the 101. More ideas for you to work at. More ideas that you can use when it comes to your trade negotiations so you can get deals done. But it's not in a vacuum. Don't try the exact trades that were shown, but use those as ideas to help you flip the players around to get the deals done. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll have another video out for the 102, 103, and so forth. So hit that button. Stop missing out. I want to thank you for watching, though. Catch you on the next video.